Good morning, everybody, and welcome to PyCon UK 2019. So it's really lovely to see you all here. This is the fifth Python Django conference in a row that's been held here in City Hall. So the first one was in 2015 with DjangoCon Europe, and we've held PyCon UK here ever since. My name's Daniele. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the conference director this year. And I've got a little introduction here to tell you about the things that you can expect over the next 5 days. So as I said, first of all, you're warmly welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you've come from, whatever reason you're here for, if it's something to do with Python. This event is put together by a team of unpaid volunteers, of which I am just one. We've got a large team here. I don't know if members of the team would like to stand up and make themselves visible. There are only a few up here. There's Tim at the front. There's an Owen over there. There's Anne and Vincent. We're all wearing red lanyards. So if there's anything you need, you can speak to us or one of the other volunteers. We've been working on this conference for the last 12 months. In fact, for the event itself, we're also helped by a large team of volunteers on the day, so you'll see people doing things like looking after the cameras for filming, or carrying things, or just generally running around, chairing sessions. They're our volunteers. And we're always looking for volunteers for this event and for future events. So if that's something that you'd like to do, just come and talk to one of us. Our video team is led by Tim Williams, who does this every year for us. He's been a part of PyCon UK for, how long, Tim?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years, so, you know, longer than I've been doing anything with Python. And I think right now we need a camera operator for this room, don't we? Okay. Would anybody like to be a camera operator for this morning? There's a camera over there and a special chair, and it's very easy. All you have to do is sit behind the camera and point it in the right direction. It's not difficult, but it lets you sit on a special chair and do a useful job. So it's a really nice thing to do. So if you think that you'd like to see the morning's talks from an elevated position, come and speak to Tim. He'll tell you how to point the camera in the right direction. As you've noticed, we've got live speech to text transcription on these monitors. They're provided by Wendy and Hillary, who are sitting over there in the corner, typing out everything. Maybe if you find them in a quiet time, they'll show you how it actually works and how they use their special keyboards for this. We've had STTR here, speech-to-text reporting every year since 2015, and it's a really important part of the event. It improves the experience of people who are listening to talks immensely, and not just people who need it for because they have a hearing disability. If you're a speaker in this room, we've asked you to provide technical terms to the STTR team. If you haven't done that, there's still time to do it, because you can add it to the Google document where we're collecting these terms. So please speak to one of us if you don't know how to do that. We're enormously grateful to the sponsors of this event. Once again, we've got a large number of them. They're paying at least half of your ticket price. What you'd have to pay would be easily double were it not for the support, the financial support that we get from these organizations. It's really important for the sustainability of open source software and our communities and our events, and to make possible the volunteering that we do, that we have commercial interests and commercial sponsorship. So I'd like to thank the sponsors, and I'd like you to do the same And I'd like you to thank them just by, when you're going around and you see a sponsor at the booth, say, thank you for sponsoring the event. It's talk to them, find out what they've got to offer. It's really important for them, and it's really important for us, not just as this individual conference, but for our community as a whole, to have this working all together in a sustainable way. Cardiff City Hall has been our home for PyCon UK for 4 years now. It runs so smoothly here, and that's thanks to the staff here. If there's something that you need that you don't have, that seems like it should be provided, for example, if you see that the water coolers have run out of water, speak to one of the organizers, or a volunteer will speak directly to the staff, and they will get these things sorted out extremely quickly. So again, we're very grateful to Cardiff City Hall and the staff and the way they've supported the conference over the years. There's Gareth from Enthusiasm Events, once again providing the AV support, so he'll be helping you with plugging in your laptops, amongst other things, when you're speaking here. And thank you also to all of the speakers, the presenters, and workshop leaders who have made up our rich program of activities. At some points, we're going to have, I think, something like 8 or 9 sessions in parallel. That's possible because we have such a large number of people who want to contribute their expertise, their thoughts, their things they've learned, run workshops. Nobody's getting paid for it. Everyone's a volunteer. And we're very grateful to all of you, not just who are speaking, but the ones who also submitted and maybe weren't selected, because we get far more proposals than we could possibly accept for our conference. And finally, thank you to all of you for being here. It's quite something to be entrusted with something like PyCon UK that's been running for many years, that has 700 or more people attending. We as an organizing team feel that we've been entrusted with something that's very important to many people, and it's important for us to do the best that we can to give everybody who comes a good experience. So thank you for being here. Thank you for placing that trust in us. Thank you for everything that you're going to do over the next 5 days, whether it's something tangible like volunteering with a camera, or something intangible like just being an agreeable, pleasant, enjoyable person to be around for the next 5 days. So you're what makes our conference. It's so wonderful to welcome you back here. Thank you for being here. I need to mention our code of conduct. Has anybody not been to an event like this before, a Python conference, a PyCon? Have we any first-time visitors here? Good, great. It's wonderful that we have. I don't know how many thousands of people we've welcomed through these doors. We have a code of conduct. It's listed on our website prominently. We'd like you to read it. It's not a list of the things that we don't want you to do or say. It's a statement of our values. It's a description of how we'd like our attendees to treat one another. And it means, in short, that we want people to treat each other with respect and courtesy and kindness. We have all kinds of people here from all kinds of different backgrounds, some of whom you won't see typically at technical conferences. So, for example, on Saturday, tomorrow, we'll have children coming for the Children's Day. Some of you may have seen children before. They're like people, but smaller. And they have different expectations and values and so on from the rest of us. So we ask you to take care and be sensitive about your language and your behavior, and to ensure that it's appropriate for a general audience. People need to be reasonably comfortable hearing and seeing what goes on. This applies to your talks. Some people have to talk about sensitive topics, which is completely appropriate, but we must be aware that sometimes things that certain topics or certain questions may have a strong effect on people. It doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about these things, but they must be addressed in sensitive and considerate ways. All of this applies also to our conference social events, our communications on things like the Slack channel and Twitter and so on. Should you need to report a concern relating to the code of conduct, and you're encouraged to do this if you feel that something inappropriate is said or done, then don't hesitate to use the telephone number. You can call or send a text message. We've got an email address. You can speak to one of the people on Slack, one of the organizers who has a little red snake by their names, or come and talk to us in person. Raising a code of conduct issue is not like detonating a nuclear bomb or going down to the police station to accuse somebody of committing a crime. It means literally raising a concern. So don't feel that in doing so, you're triggering a fatal chain of events. It's much less dramatic than that. It just means that you're not sure about something and want to check that it's okay. So please do that rather than have the doubt. So if you're in a doubt, err on the side of taking action. You might be helping someone else. And I should say, by the way, that we have a very small number of events, issues reported each year, and they are generally small issues that are also real issues that can be resolved with a short conversation. So it's good to keep those conversations going. We take it very seriously. This is the part, my favorite part. So some of you know what's coming next. Ladies and gentlemen, is what's written on the doors of the toilets downstairs. Now, as a very inclusive conference, we have many people here who don't consider themselves to be exactly ladies or gentlemen and wouldn't necessarily choose those names for themselves. So, because this is a 19th century building, there are certain limitations on what we can and can't do with the interior architecture. And it's not been possible for us to set up gender-neutral toilets, which some people would like to see. So the rule is, please use whichever toilet you feel is appropriate and comfortable for you to use. Please do not disturb or question, or especially not harass anybody you see who's using the toilet, even if you think that such and such a person doesn't look like they quite fit the label on the door. Nobody wants to be disturbed or bothered when they're going to the toilet. It's as simple as that. So we trust our attendees to choose and use the appropriate facilities, and we expect them to be left in peace while we're doing that. If you have a concern about it, please come and speak to one of the organizers, but absolutely nobody is to be harassed while using the facilities here. I have to say this every year, and I have to say it, I think, 4 times, so I've probably said it now about 40 times. Another thing that I'd like to draw to your attention, what is a question exactly? Now, many people will take questions after their talks. And what we'd like is for them to receive actual questions from the audience. The purpose of a question is to give the speaker a chance to share something that you, the questioner, did not know. It's absolutely not an opportunity for you, the questioner, to demonstrate how much you know or how clever you are. Thank you. Yes. If you're a really good questioner, your question will make the speaker look and feel very clever and brilliant and original and insightful. And it's your chance to put yourself in the background and shine a light on somebody else's achievements, because that's their moment on stage. Don't take it away from them, please. A lot of people have got lots of lovely opinions and comments and knowledge. That's why we have a call for proposals, so you can come and tell us about that. If you've got something to say it in a lightning talk, but please, questions end in a question mark. And our talk chairs won't hesitate to interrupt people who are not asking actual questions, in a polite way, of course. Our photographers in residence again, there's, right at the back, there's Mark. If you're wearing a blue lanyard, it means, yes, you're happy to be photographed. If you're wearing a yellow, if you've chosen a yellow lanyard, let's try saying that fast a few times, a yellow lanyard, it means you'd prefer not to be photographed. Now, please be aware that there'll be thousands and thousands of photographs taken over these 5 days. It's not possible for us, for example, to police every single photograph. Take care when you're making the photographs. If you see a photograph and you inadvertently collected somebody in it with the wrong color lanyard, then maybe don't publish it, please, or share it. Be respectful and considerate and tactful when you're taking the photographs. Of course, if you see your photograph somewhere that you didn't want it published, it slipped through, let us know. People with red lanyards are staff, and we are very important celebrities, and of course you're welcome to take photographs of us, so please do so. We have a quiet room. This is the Cardiff City Hall Council chamber. It's the one that's right opposite here at the other end. It really is a quiet room, and by quiet room I don't mean a quiet place to make noisy conversations on the telephone. It's a quiet place to sit in real silence, so respect that space as well. Some people really enjoy that facility. The conference Wi-Fi is the Cardiff free Wi-Fi. Fingers crossed, what else can I say? We have a Slack channel to accompany our face-to-face activities. The code of conduct applies there. We ask you to use a name in the Slack channel that roughly corresponds to something that will be on your badge or what you use in face-to-face communications. This is not that a demand to have your legal name or anything like that. It's just so that we can have a rough one-to-one correspondence between who's saying what on Slack and who's saying what in real life. It just makes things nicer and easier for everyone. Some people have that little symbol by their names on Slack. If you're not one of the committee, please don't use it. That's to help you identify who's in the committee. Go ahead and use Twitter. Some people like it, but yeah. We are PyCon UK, and our hashtag for the event is also PyCon UK. Lunch, how it works. It's not just a question of running down to the front of the queue and gobbling up what you see. You will find on your badge that you have a lunch sitting, and I think they are A, B, and C, and they've got a time next to them. This is because it's not so crucial today, where the numbers are a bit smaller, but you'll see on Saturday and Sunday, if everybody went all at the same time, it wouldn't make a very nice experience at lunch. So please respect the time on your badge for when to go for lunch. If you have a special need, if you're diabetic, if you have a small child that needs to be fed, if you're not feeling well, if it takes you a long time to move from one place to another, if you have whatever reason, please go ahead and jump the queue. We rely on you using your own discretion to do that when it's appropriate. So don't suffer because it's the time is wrong on your badge for your needs. But otherwise, please respect the time. Today's activities. Well, we've got the schedule on the website, which is the single source of truth for everything. We don't hand out printed schedules because it's a pain in the neck to do that, waste paper, and things change anyway. After the day's event, we've got a board games and manual technology evening downstairs in the lower hall. And by manual technology, we mean manual skills, including knitting and crocheting, and I don't know if anybody did weaving last year, but we've got various things on. It was a big success last year. How many people learnt to knit at PyCon UK last year? Oh, well, one person. I thought there were more than that, but maybe these people knew how to knit already. But anyway, lots of people were knitting. Somewhere I've got I think a crocheted snake that somebody gave me. There was to be a visit to Cardiff Prison today with David Spademan. Where's David? Are you there? David's at the back there waving his hand. So unfortunately, that has had to be cancelled. It wasn't just a tour of the prison. It was to do something with related to Python and programming with prisoners. Operational problems, which can mean anything from a plumbing problem to a riot, have prevented that. But David is still around. If you were interested in that, David, would you stand up for a moment so people can see who you are? David is going to try and have a chat with people and in place of that, to talk about what possibilities there might be for bringing programming skills into prisons to just to be useful for the people who for prisoners. As you may know, we've had a long relationship with Cardiff Prison actually over the years, mainly through our attendance at the Clink, the restaurant at the prison. Where's Mark? I need Mark. Mark, Lightning Talks. Mark is going to tell you about how Lightning Talks work.
Hello. So last year I emceed the Lightning Talks for the first time, and in the whole year they haven't been able to find anybody to replace me, so I'm doing it again. A Lightning Talk, every day at 5:30 we will be running an hour of Lightning Talk sessions. A Lightning Talk is a talk of 5 minutes or less, no more. If you have something to say, as Daniela said, please give a Lightning Talk. If you would like to, there is a process. It's a great opportunity for people who haven't spoken before or haven't spoken very much before to give a talk and receive a wonderful, warm welcome from the community. The audience is very friendly, and you will receive positive feedback only, and I will make sure that happens. So if you would like to give a Lightning Talk, if you have something to say, there is a system. By the registration desk, we have 2 buckets. So each of these buckets has a label. One is for new speakers, and one is for everyone else. So if you are an inexperienced speaker, if you consider yourself to be an inexperienced speaker, please put an index card describing your talk in the green bucket. If you are a more experienced speaker, please stick your card in the yellow bucket. I recommend you put the title of your talk, your name, so that we can find you in the Slack if your talk is selected, and maybe a brief description of your talk. The reason for giving a brief description and making a big deal out of this year is because the system is slightly different to before. So in the past, we have randomly selected talks alternating between the 2 buckets. This year, I will be curating the talks. So we'll try to make sure that there's a good mix of experienced speakers, inexperienced speakers, fun topics, Python topics, non-Python topics, to make sure that we're really representing the community as broadly as possible. If you have a very boring talk title, like 10 important things to know about Python, and you feel like maybe you can't get that across on an index card, and you would like to pitch it to me, I will be walking around the conference with my scepter of Lightning Talks. This was a staff earlier today, and then I waved it, and it snapped in 2 places, so now it's a lot shorter than it was before. Or you can find me on the Slack. Just create a private channel, or we may create a Lightning Talk channel, and you can pitch your talk to me. Please try not to do that too much, because I don't want to spend all day listening to people sell me their Lightning Talks. But anyway, please submit a Lightning Talk proposal, by lunchtime each day, and we will select the day's Lightning Talks during the lunch session. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you later.
Thank you very much, Mark. We're going to get ready now for our first talk of PyCon UK 2019. But I mentioned so many people who are contributing to the event, and if we stop to give them a round of applause each time, we'd be here all day. But I think now's quite a nice moment to say thank you to the volunteers, the sponsors, the speakers, and everybody else, just so everybody gets a good clap there.